Today I will be ranking all of the Generation 6 shiny Pokemon. Yo, what is up you guys? It's Dominator here and I'm back with another shiny Pokemon tier list video. In this video we are going to be ranking all of the Generation 6 shiny Pokemon. If you're wondering, we have ranked all the Gen 1 through 5 shiny Pokemon, and we've also done a lot of tier lists in regards of how rare shiny Pokemon are, certain shiny hunting methods, and all that good stuff. So if you do want to check out those videos, I do have a playlist for all of my shiny hunting tier list videos or just Pokemon tier list videos right here on a card. And yeah, we've been ranking all of the shiny Pokemon from Gen 1 through 5, so now we are on to Gen 6. And let's get right into this. Before we begin though, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't done so yet. We are getting really close to 10,000 subscribers, so thank you guys so much for all the support so far. And if you're watching this video, just double check, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, because we got more shiny tier list videos, we got more shiny hunting videos, all that good Pokemon stuff as we do. So yeah, let's get right into this. We got awful tier, meh tier, good tier, great tier, and god tier for the shinies. And it's Generation 6. This is when we, as far as we know, Game Freak decided to start like designing shinies as opposed to doing just a random color swap. Now, it is up in the air on how accurate that is, because there are some Pokemon we know were designed in the past generations, but we were led to believe that most of them were just random color swaps until Generation 6 and onwards. So we know Game Freak has designed all these shinies, so hopefully that means they are better. Hopefully. Alright, so starting us off with Chespin. I think Chespin is not god tier. It is great. I think it is. I think the whole line is pretty great, actually. Even Chestnut. Chestnut's probably the weakest because there's less red in it, but I still think it's a really cool shiny. Moving on to Fennekin. Fennekin's tough. It's a really cool shiny. Like, oh, I might do it, man. I think we gotta put all of them into god tier. I love like the silver, the red, and then even the purple on Braixen and Delphox. Like, I think Braixen and Delphox are cooler than Fennekin. Let's actually do this. Let's put Fennekin in great and put Braixen and Delphox in god tier, just because the purple makes it so much cooler in my opinion with it though. So there's that. Froakie I think is meh. Froakie is not that exciting. Same with Frogadier. I don't think it is that cool at all. I do think Greninja is great. I don't think it's god tier. Everyone, like, so many people say it's like the greatest shiny of all time. I don't think that. I think it works well for the Pokemon, but I don't think it's that amazing. I'm not gonna put it in good though, because I do think it is a nice looking shiny, but you know, and we're just gonna combine the Ash Greninja with it as well, because you know, I don't know, they look pretty similar. So I'm gonna put Bunnelby and Diggersby both in good. I don't think those are bad at all. I'm gonna put Fletchling and Fletchinder in meh. They're not exciting shinies at all. But Talonflame I'm gonna put in great. There's just so much more red in Talonflame. It looks awesome for a fire type Pokemon. It looks so cool with all that red and like the yellow and orange, and it's really cool fire colors for a Phoenix. Really cool. Scatterbug I think is good. Spupa I think is good. I'm gonna be honest, Vivian is meh. Like, I know why it looks the way it does. Like, they have all the different patterns, and they're all like regional variants, so like you get certain patterns in certain regions depending on where your 3DS is from. But like, oh, if they had changed the color of the wings, it would have been so much cooler. I know it's like the same color as a Scatterbug, but Scatterbug is like, that's the whole Pokemon, so I think it works better. Vivian, like, the coolest part about it is the thing that doesn't change, but like, it would have been so cool. Like, can you imagine if all of them had shinies that were like, every single pattern had a shiny with the wings being different? It'd be so cool. Missed opportunity for sure in that, so it's meh. It's not awful though, I'm not gonna give it awful. Litleo I think is meh. Honestly, a Pyroar is kind of meh as well. I guess I don't really need both genders here, but I guess they're gonna both be there because why not? Flabebe, I actually think Flabebe is good. I mean, it's kind of like Vivian, where like if the flower had changed, it would have been way cooler. But in my opinion, I think the purple on it is not bad at all. I think it's actually kind of cool. Vivian is not as exciting in my opinion. So I know it's kind of a similar concept, and I'm rating them differently, but I do think Floette is a little better than Flabébé just because there's more of the purple. And I actually think Florges is great. Now, this one's not listing, this list I have isn't listing all the different colors of Florges, but I think it's the blue one. Is it the blue one? Looks so cool with the purple. Honestly, the red one looks really cool with the purple too, and there's so much purple in it. Florges is definitely the coolest of the three, and it is such a good shiny. Skiddo and Go-Go. I do kind of like these shinies a lot. We're going to put them in great because they're kind of crazy, but in a good way. So we're just going to put them in that. Pancham. You know, Pancham's good. Pancham and Pangoro are pretty good. There's actually real life. This is based off of a real life condition that pandas can have where they can be brown instead of black. So it kind of references that. I don't think it's a good condition. I'm not sure. I'm not super into biology, but I know there's it's a reference to how actual pandas can look. So I do appreciate that. They're not terrible. I definitely think Pangoro's better because of the red on it, but you know, they're good. So we have all of the Furfrou. I don't think I'm gonna rank all the Furfrou because they all are the same shiny, and the difference in colors for them is the colors they normally are. So all of these colors is just replace the dark grayish black color with white, and it's the same thing. So I don't think I can really validate the ranking because I mean they're all the same shiny. They just the other parts of them that are always like that are different colors. So I will say though, the Kabuki form is probably one of the coolest. Same with the Pharaoh form and the Lorraine. Those are all these three down here are probably the best ones. But yeah, I'm just not gonna rank all of them because they're all very similar and it would just look like a Furfrou tier list. Ultimately though, I think Furfrou's kind of meh. It's one of those things where it's not really black, it's like a purpley black, but it's one of those instances where I feel like they just made a Pokemon black for no reason, and I don't think it looks that good on it. I think black shinies are kind of a little overrated. There are some really cool ones, don't get me wrong. I did rank Charizard really high. I mean, I even ranked Greninja in great, but I do think that Furfrou is one of the ones that doesn't work as well. So not every shiny has to be black. I think only certain ones work pretty well. We're gonna put Esper in meh. Esper's not that exciting. It does change a bit, but not good. We're gonna put both Meowstics in great. I love shiny Meowstic. Those ones are really cool. Okay, so this is a weird situation because we're going off the home sprites. These are in the sheets, but they are a red blade underneath and they look sick. We're gonna put them all in God tier. We're gonna put all of them. We're going to only do one of the stance changes for Aegis Slash, but all of these are God tier, man. It's the red. The red is so cool. I think Aegis Slash, I want to say, is the worst of the three, but not bad because it's different in its own way. These ones are all red on their blades. This one is a dark gray and red, but that's just because that's how Aegislash looks. Normally it's just the design choice. I think it looks sick either way, so we're putting them all in God tier. Spritzee and Aromatisse I think are great. These are really cool. Honestly, same with Swirlix and Slurpuff. I love I don't like Slurpuff as a Pokemon at all, and honestly, I don't really like Aromatisse either, but these shinies are clean, man. The brown and red on Slurpuff, they're so cool. Inkay, I've never cared too much about Inkay's shiny. We're gonna say good, though. I think Malamar's a little better, but I don't know if I want to put it in great, so we're just gonna put them both in good. This is a tough one, man. The Binacle and Barbaracle, I don't want to say their shinies are awful, but their designs are awful. They're just weird Pokemon. They're so uncomfortable looking, and I don't know, but the shinies are just okay. They're not anything special. I'm not gonna say they're awful though. Scralp and Dragalge, I'm gonna put, or Dragalge, I actually don't know how to pronounce this Pokemon. I'm gonna put them both in good. They are kind of cool colors, but they don't change drastically from their shinies, so it's not they're not the most exciting. In fact, I honestly thought Scralp was really cool until I realized that the regular Scralp wasn't that much different. I think it's it goes from pinkish to blue, and then like the purple is very similar. It's something like that, but they're not the most exciting shiny. Clauncher we're gonna put in great, and I gotta put Clawitzer in God tier. We have a theme here. Normally I'm all for the blue shinies, but this one's like all red shinies. I will say though, Clawitzer it's the red and blue that makes it look so cool. And Clauncher, the only reason it's not in God tier is because it's more of an orangish salmon color than Clawitzer. Well, Clawitzer is the same color, but the big pincer on it is like a nice red color with the blue and white. So cool. Okay, I think I have to put Helioptile in awful for shinies. We put so many red shinies in God tier, and then we put another red shiny in awful tier. I just hate how it's just like the face downward is red. I think Heliolisk pulls it off just a little more, but I'm just gonna say it's meh. But yeah, I mean, it's like sunburnt, kind of like vibes that I get from Moltres, except ultimately I think Moltres is a worse shiny. So yeah, but we gotta put something in awful. We need some representation in all the tiers. We got Tyrunt. I'm gonna put Tyrunt and Tyrantrum, and honestly, Amora and Aurorus, all of them are going in great. And honestly, let's just keep it going. These are all gonna go in great. Like Sylveon and Hawlucha. These are all great shinies. Hawlucha is one of those like crazy different shinies that looks really cool. Purple and red. I mean, I guess we really like red this time around. Sylveon, I always say Sylveon is probably the second best shiny evolution under Umbreon. The shiny evolutions aren't that great, but Umbreon and Sylveon are the two that like really stand out to me. Amora and Aurorus are really unique shinies because of how like white they are. You don't see too many white shinies. I guess you see them more nowadays when Game Freak actually designs them. Like we got Scatterbugs, Pupa, you know, like those are all kind of like white shinies. But they like, I don't know, the blue looks cool on it. And then Tyrunt and Tyrantrum are really cool. I do think Tyrunt's a little better though because it's more of a lighter blue, but they're all great shinies. Dedenne. I'm going to say Dedenne is good. It's nothing crazy, but I do like the brown on it. It's kind of nice. Carbink, I thought Carbink was cooler as a shiny than it is, so we're going to put it in meh. I don't know why. I thought Carbink was like a really cool shiny, and then when I like actually saw it, I was like, this isn't as cool as I thought it would be, so I don't know. There's my thoughts. Not really the most interesting thoughts, but it's just not as exciting as I thought it would be, so we're putting it in meh. Goomy! I love the Goomy line. Oh my gosh, the shinies are so cool. They're such a gross color, but it like works, and it's like, it's actually a cool color, honestly. Like it's not, I can't even say it's gross. It's just not a color you would see a shiny Pokemon be, and it's like, it works so well. Like this is such a cool one. It's probably the purple and yellowish color. It's almost like a yellow. I don't know, it just looks really cool, and it really fits the Pokemon. Klefki! Nothing really special with Klefki. It just turns gold. But, like, not exciting gold. I don't know. Oh my gosh. Okay, we have to do it. Honestly, we have to do all of them. These are, like, the top-notch shinies of Gen 6, man. The Ghost types. Ghost type shinies are so cool, except for Greninja. And, like, there's probably one other Ghost shiny that's not cool. Gengar. Yeah. Okay, so Ghost shinies are, like, top tier all the time. They are always so cool. We just have to put them in. I know it's following the same theme. We got purple and red, but what I really like about Phantump and Trevenant is that it's the silver and red that looks so cool, and then the black and purple for Phantump and, or not Phantump, Pumpkaboo and Gourgeist. So, oh, the purple. Like, I mean, if this is the first generation Game Freak design shinies, man, they did it right. Like, the shade of purple on Pumpkaboo and Gourgeist is so cool. It's like the perfect shade of purple for a ghost type. Oh my gosh. Perfect. So good. Next up, we have Bergmite and Avalugg. I'm just going to say they're... You know what? I'm going to put Bergmite at good. Bergmite actually doesn't really bother me as a shiny too much. It's not the most exciting, but I don't dislike it. Avalugg is just less of it, and it just doesn't look as cool. So that's why we're doing it like that. Noibat and Noivern, they're both going in great. Like, oh, Noibat's close though, man. Noibat, man. Let's do it. God tier. Noibat's in God tier. I can't point Noivern in God tier because I can't point it. I can't put Noivern in God tier because it's more green than, like, you guys know me with my blue shinies. Noibat is like a really nice teal color, so it's like a bluish green. Noivern, it's the more green, which I don't like as much. And the red, honestly, the red's fine. I think it's just the green. The green isn't as cool in my opinion, but it's still really cool. Like I love Shiny Goodra, and I'm putting it by Shiny Goodra. So like, if that's any indication, this is a good generation of shinies. Not gonna lie. I will say in Gen 6, 7, and 8, they do have a lot of really cool shinies. I'm not gonna lie. There's some pretty bad ones though. So, you know, stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel. We got to do Gen 7, Gen 8, and then eventually Gen 9. Once that comes out, we still have like no info on those games by the time we're recording this too, so that sucks. But you know, we'll keep going. I also probably will rank all of the god tier shinies at the very end just to see which ones are my favorite. I've always wanted to do a top 10 favorite shinies list, and I feel like doing it this way would be really good to like actually make a top 10. So we'll see. We'll see. Next we got Zerny. Honestly, Xerneas and Yveltal are, I'm gonna say they're I'm gonna say Yveltal's meh. I don't really like shiny Yveltal. I don't really like shiny Xerneas. At least the blue on it looks really cool, but shiny Yveltal, it looks gross, man. The white, it's like veiny. Like I don't know. I don't like that. It's not good. I know it looks like, everyone says it looks like bacon, but like I don't really like it. However, Zygarde, man, this is a close one. I think Zygarde's gotta be borderline god tier. I think it has to be. We're just gonna put all of them next to each other, if I can actually do this. We're gonna put all of them next to each other. It's definitely borderline god tier, 100% borderline. I just feel like I can't put it in god tier. It's like, here's what we'll do. We'll put Zygarde 50 and Zygarde 10 in god tier. The 100% form, the red, and I think there's blue on the other side, and whatever's going on with its like claws or whatever those are, a bit much. So we got less of that with the other two, and I have to put in god tier. It's too good. Diancie or Diancie. Diancie's not really anything special, if I'm being honest. We'll put the Mega in there too. And like honestly, like Hoopa, not that crazy either. Like Hoopa's the same thing I got with freaking Klefki, man. It's just like they just turned to gold, and it's like, no, it's not that cool. However, I think Volcanian's great. Volcanian's shiny. It looks like, I mean, just compare them. Look at Hoopa Unbound. It looks like they put a yellow and brown filter over Hoopa Unbound. Same with like Unfined. I mean, it's very similar. This one looks like they actually went through and picked out colors for each color of the Pokemon, and it just looks way cooler. So like the pink, blue, yellow, really cool. We love it. And that's it. That is Gen 6, I think, is the shortest generation. So, and moving forward, Gen 7 and Gen 8, we will do regional variants as well for those. So those will be a little bigger. But yeah, Gen 6 is the shortest generation. So I'm going to cut here. I'm going to organize these within their respected tiers, and I will see you once I do that. Okay, guys, I am back, and I have organized them in the tiers, excluding the different Furfrou forms and the Shield Aegislash. So, starting off with Awful Tier, this is actually a new one for us. Only one, and it's Helioptile. I think it's terrible. I will say, though, moving on to Med Tier, that Binacle and Barbaracle are definitely borderline, so I put those at the bottom of it. Honestly, Med Tier was the hardest for me to organize because they all are very similar in Met. I did move Yveltal up a bit, and same with the Hoopas and the Klefki, and then I thought like these ones are kind of borderline good, but not enough to really help it out. And then like Diancie isn't, like, honestly I can move Diancie with Carbink, honestly. I mean, they kind of go together. They're like the full evolution line, technically speaking. But none of them really wow me. They're not as exciting as I want them to be, if I'm being honest. They're a little disappointing. Yeah, the Froakie, the Fletchlings, all of these are just kind of, they don't change enough to be exciting. Same with Vivian. The Pyroar, just not as exciting of color schemes, in my opinion. You know, you get the gist of the Met Tier. That's the Met Tier. It's not that exciting. Next, we have Good Tier, and honestly, Bergmite, borderline. Definitely borderline. I just didn't really want to put it in the same tier as Avalugg, because I think Avalugg is worse, so Borderline met tier. Honestly, same with Flabebe. I was kind of gassing the shiny up because of the purple on it, but I mean, it is very similar in the vein of like Vivian, where like, yeah, it does change, but like the coolest part about it doesn't really change, so, you know, whatever. Then we got Dedenne, Skralp, Inkay. These are all very similar to me. Pancham is lower than Pangoro because I like Pangoro more. I do think Spupa is a little better than Scatterbug just because of like the black and red on it is a little cooler. It's just a little more exciting. Xerneas, not as nearly as bad as Yveltal. It's actually pretty good if I'm being honest. And I do really like the Bunnelby and the Diggersby. And then these three up here I thought were actually pretty cool. So we're going to put these at like borderline of great tier. Especially the Floette. I really like Floette, but I put Florges in great. And I think Florges is just way cooler. So moving on to great tier, we have Volcanion at the bottom and Noivern, and honestly Amora and Auroras are near the bottom of great tier. I still think they're really cool, but, you know, kind of borderline. Then we got Hawlucha, and then we got some, let's see, we got Swirlix and Chestnut, and I mean, honestly, these are all really cool shinies, I'm gonna be honest, so, like, it only really gets noteworthy starting with probably Aromatisse. Like, I think these are all really cool shinies up here. And, like, honestly, these four are borderline. Like, the more I'm looking at Florges, the more I'm loving it shiny. Even though it's really just the green turns to purple. It's not, like, the craziest change. But I think these are all really cool shinies. I did put Greninja in the middle of great tier. I don't think it's bad by any means. I do think it's a little overrated though, so it's in the middle. I do really like Chespin and Quilladin though. I think those are really cool shinies, so I do think they're better than Greninja if I'm being totally honest. I know, probably unpopular opinion, but like, you know, not every black shiny is like top tier. As I say that, I have like pretty much 2 to 3 black shinies in God tier anyway, so who knows if my opinion means anything. But, yeah, I do really like Tyrunt more than Tyrantrum, so Tyrunt's a lot higher up. And then we did put the 100% Zygarde in the top of great tier. When moving on to God tier, we put the other two at the bottom end of God tier. So, you know, these are all very borderline, but I do think without the weird yellow bits and the red and the blue, I think these two shinies are a lot cooler than the 100%. Although I will say the Zygarde 50% definitely has like yellow bits in it. It's just not as much and it's not as distracting. It's just the white and green, which I think looks a lot cooler. Then we got the Delphox and Braixen, you know, really cool. Love the purple, red, and white. Like, these are just really cool color schemes for shinies, man. Like, and then like the blue, red, and orange and white for the Clawitzer. So awesome. And then we got the Aegis Slash. I did put Aegis Slash lower than Honedge and Doublade, even though these sprites don't look that cool for Honedge and Doublade. It's mainly the blade color is what I'm going off of. We like talked ourselves into it. We had to put the ghosts at the top. I think the ghosts are like the coolest shinies of this generation. I also totally skipped by Noibat. I think Noibat is really cool, and honestly, it's like borderline between these. I just kind of wanted to have something separating the Aegis Slash from the Doublade and Honedge, just to show that I do like Honedge and Doublade a little more than Aegis Slash. So that is pretty much why, but like, honestly, I feel like I could totally put Noibat up here too, but I do have to hand it to the ghost types. Gourgeist, Pumpkaboo, and I think the coolest shiny, honestly, of Gen 6 is Trevenant, with Phantom being closely behind. The only difference is Trevenant has more of the red in it, which is why it's cooler, and probably the best shiny of Gen 6. So, really different tier list than what I'm used to, because I'm usually putting all the blue shinies in the God tier. We only have, like, one almost blue. It's more of a green than a blue, honestly, with the Noibat, but yeah, it's a lot of red this time around, which is crazy, because I guess in past generations, you just didn't see that much red shinies, and now since, like, they are allegedly designing all of them now, they added a lot more red shinies, which I think is really cool. So, yeah, best shiny of Gen 6, Trevenant, and yeah, all these, I mean, honestly, like, this is one of the strongest rated generations. Granted, there's not as many Pokemon in this generation, but this is the first time we've had only one awful tier, and the rest, like, there's not even that many in the math. There's actually not many in the good. Good is probably the weakest one, but I mean, there's a lot of great and there's a good amount of God tier. So here is the tier list You can pause the video at any time to check them out in full right now, so I'll just scroll up and down on it. But yeah, that is the tier list. Next up, we're going to have to do Generation 7, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you're subscribed. But yeah, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, ring those notification bells, all that good stuff. Be sure to join the domination, and I will see you in the next video.